Have you ever felt the world tightening its grip around you, suffocating your dreams with 1,000 invisible chains? Like every step you take is watched, judged, and forced into a mold you never chose. What if I told you that breaking just 10 of those rules, the very ones designed to keep you small, could turn the entire game upside down? Suddenly they can't look away. Suddenly you become the glitch in their perfect system. This isn't just rebellion. It's a transformation born from pain, silence, and untamed fury. Today on Twist Mind, we dive deep into how shattering those invisible walls isn't chaos, it's your awakening. You know that feeling when the world closes in on you. When invisible walls surround your every move, every thought, every breath you take. That's the cage of rules. Not made of iron bars, but something far more suffocating. It's the weight of expectations that crushes your spirit, the silent demand to fit into molds that were never designed for you. From the moment you take your first step, you are handed a script, a set of laws, boundaries, and limits that say, this is who you are. This is what you can become, but deep inside your heart knows. This is a lie. You are not made to live a life written by others. You were meant to write your own story. This cage isn't obvious at first. It's disguised as safety, order, and structure. People tell you to follow the path because it's safe, because that's how it's done. They mask control as care. But what it really is a silent trap, a slow erosion of your dreams, your fire, your essence. You begin to shrink, to fade as the walls of conformity grow taller and thicker. The colors of your soul dull. Your unique voice, once vibrant and loud, becomes a whisper, muffled beneath the noise of shoulds and musts. Every time you bite your tongue to avoid rocking the boat, every time you swallow your wild ideas for the sake of fitting in, the cage tightens another notch. But here's the brutal truth. This cage isn't just around you. It's inside you. Fear, doubt, and self-judgment are the locks on your own prison. The rules you follow are often the ones you've accepted without question, the ones you have engraved on the walls of your mind. You think these rules protect you, but they only stop you from living. You believe you must be careful, predictable, and safe to survive. But survival isn't enough. You were made for more. The fire inside you was never meant to be tamed. It's a raging storm waiting to break free and tear through the lies that cage you. Recognizing the cage is the first step to breaking it. You have to see the bars for what they are. Chains forged by fear and expectation. You must confront the voices telling you to stay small, to play safe, to be silent. The world will try to convince you that breaking the rules means chaos, failure, or rejection. But the real chaos is living a life that's less than what you're capable of. The real failure is giving up on yourself before the battle even begins. The cage tries to convince you that your dreams are dangerous, that your ambitions are selfish. But what if the real danger is the complacency it breeds? What if every moment you spend confined, muted, and hidden is a moment lost to fear, lost to doubt, lost to a life unlived? You must stare this cage down, cold and unflinching. Feel the weight of it, acknowledge the pain it causes, and then use that pain as fuel. The cage may be strong, but your will is stronger. It doesn't matter how many rules you've been forced to obey or how many times you've been told no. What matters is this. Do you still have the courage to fight for your freedom? This cage of rules was never your home. It was a prison disguised as protection. And now it's time to shatter it. Not with noise or anger, but with the silent, unbreakable force of a mind that refuses to be tamed. Each rule you break is a chisel stroke against the walls that held you. Each act of defiance is a crack that grows until the cage collapses under the weight of your courage. When you finally step out of that cage, You will feel the raw, dizzying rush of freedom. It will be terrifying and exhilarating all at once, but it will also be the moment you claim your true power. The power of someone who refuses to be controlled. Someone who dares to live on their own terms. The cage of rules was just the beginning of your story. The real story starts when you break free. The moment you decide to question everything, everything changes. It's not just a simple act of defiance, it's a seismic shift inside your mind that shakes the very foundation of what you thought was true. For years you've been fed a story, a narrative handed down like an unbreakable law. You accepted it because that's what you were taught to do. But the day you say why is the day you become dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to the system that tried to control you. Questioning is a rebellion of the soul. It's that quiet whisper inside that grows louder with every lie you uncover, every rule that no longer serves you. It's the moment you refuse to blindly follow. The moment you stop swallowing the poison disguised as advice and start tasting the bitter truth. And that truth is liberating and terrifying. It means you can't go back to being a passive player. You have to become the author of your own story, even if the pages are blank and the path uncertain. When you question everything, you challenge not only the world but yourself. You dig deep into your beliefs, your fears, your limitations. You face the uncomfortable reality that some of what you believed was built on lies or fear. That you've been living in a cage constructed by invisible walls of doubt and expectation. It's a painful awakening because it forces you to confront your own role in your confinement. You see the moments you held back, the times you silenced your voice to avoid conflict or judgment, and that realization is a spark that lights the fire of transformation. But questioning isn't easy, it's messy. It tears apart old certainties and leaves you standing in the chaos of the unknown. People will call you crazy, reckless, or lost. Friends might distance themselves, uncomfortable with your refusal to play by the rule. The world doesn't reward those who question, it fears them. Because when you question, you create ripples that turn into waves. You disrupt the calm surface of the status quo and force others to face uncomfortable truths. Yet this chaos is the birthplace of true freedom. It's where you stop being a follower and start becoming a creator. The first break, the break where you question everything, is a test of your courage. It's the moment you decide that comfort and certainty are no longer worth the price of your soul. You realize that safety is an illusion, and that true strength comes from facing the unknown head-on. With every question, you chip away at the cage's foundation. You uncover the cracks in the system and the hypocrisy of those who built it. You begin to see that rules aren't sacred laws, but choices made by imperfect people trying to control imperfect worlds. And in that revelation lies your power. The power to redefine what's possible. Questioning everything also means embracing vulnerability. It means admitting you don't have all the answers and being okay with that. It means being willing to fall, to fail, and to stumble through the darkness without a clear path. But it's in that darkness that you find your true strength. Because when you're no longer bound by false certainty, you become unstoppable. Your mind becomes a weapon, sharp and unpredictable, slicing through the lies and limitations that once held you back. This break is more than just a mental shift, it's a revolution of the spirit. It's the silent roar of someone who refuses to be a prisoner of their own mind or the world's expectations. When you question everything, you become a glitch in the system, a force that cannot be controlled or ignored. You become the storm that others fear but cannot. So embrace the discomfort, celebrate the confusion, relish the chaos of breaking free from old patterns and beliefs. This is the price of power. The cost of freedom. You will never be the same again. But that's the point. You were never meant to be the same. You were meant to break, to shatter, and to rise like a dark phoenix from the ashes of your former self. This is your first true step toward reclaiming your life. The moment when you stop accepting the rules and start rewriting them. The moment when they realize you are no longer a player in their game but the one holding the cards. The moment when they can no longer look away because you have become something impossible to ignore. Defying the rules comes with a price, a toll that cuts deep beneath the skin and shakes the foundations of your world. When you choose to break free, to reject the comfortable lies that kept you chained, the world doesn't welcome you with open arms. Instead, it hits back with the fury of every voice that once praised obedience. The cost of defiance is often isolation, a silence so deafening that it threatens to drown the roar of your own spirit. You find yourself standing alone, the weight of judgment heavier than any chains you've ever known. People who once smiled at you now look away with suspicion or disdain. Opportunities close like doors slamming shut in a storm. Friends become strangers and the support you counted on vanishes into shadow. The price is loneliness, the raw, biting loneliness of a rebel, walking a path no one else dares to tread. It's in this solitude that your true strength begins to grow. The world punishes the defiant, not just because they fear you, but because you remind them of their own change. Your refusal to comply exposes their weaknesses and the fragility of their comfort. This is the harsh truth. Standing out invites attack. But what makes defiance truly costly is the internal battle raging within. The voices of doubt and fear amplify when the noise of approval fades. The silence becomes louder than any cheer you ever heard. You question yourself. You wonder if the sacrifice is worth it. You face nights darker than any prison, wrestling with shadows only you can see. Yet it is in this crucible of pain that a transformation is forged. The cost of defiance carves out a new version of you, one sharper, colder, and more resilient. Each rejection, each closed door becomes a scar that tells a story of survival. You learn to walk through the storm with your head held high, not because you are unbroken, but because you are unyielding. You become a fortress built from pain, not a victim crushed by it. There's a cruel irony here. The very thing they use to try and break you, the isolation, the rejection, the doubt, becomes your fuel. It teaches you that you don't need their approval to thrive, that the path you carve in solitude is the one worth walking. You start to see the faces of those who abandoned you, not as enemies but as reminders of your own power. Their absence leaves room for you to grow into someone who no longer seeks validation, but commands respect by sheer presence. This cost is also a test of your faith in yourself, not the faith born from hope or wishful thinking, but a fierce, unbreakable belief forged in the fires of hardship. You realize that defiance is not an act of rebellion against others alone, but a declaration of allegiance to your own truth. You pledge to yourself that no matter the cost, you will not shrink, you will not hide, and you will not lose the fire burning inside you. But be warned, this cost isn't a one-time toll. It's a lifelong price for those who dare to live on their own terms. You will face moments when the loneliness is unbearable, when the world's cold gaze threatens to extinguish your flame. You will be tempted to retreat, to blend back into the shadows for comfort's sake. Yet those who pay the price and keep moving forward become legends, not because they never stumbled, but because they refuse to stay down. In the end, the cost of defiance separates the weak from the unstoppable. It creates warriors of the mind and soul, who understand that freedom is never free. It is bought with scars, sacrifice, and the willingness to stand alone when everyone else turns away. When you pay this price, you claim a power so profound that the world can no longer ignore your existence. This is where your silent revenge begins, not with noise or chaos, but with the steady, unrelenting rise of someone who has been pushed to the edge and refused to fall. The world may try to break you, but it can only make you strong. Every loss, every betrayal, every moment of loneliness is a stone in the foundation of your empire. So embrace the cost, wear it like armor. Let it remind you that you are no ordinary soul. You are a force born from pain, tempered by struggle, and destined to conquer. The world demanded obedience, but you chose defiance, and that choice made you dangerous. That choice made you unforgettable. That choice made you unstoppable. Revenge. The word alone can ignite images of chaos, loud battles, and fiery confrontations. But true revenge, The kind that echoes through the shadows is silent. It's not about shouting your victory from rooftops or demanding recognition. It's the quiet, calculated force that grows beneath the surface, unseen but unstoppable. Silent revenge is a slow-burning fire fueled by every wound you endured, every moment you were dismissed, and every time they underestimated you. It is the power of the unseen. When you choose silent revenge, you step into a dangerous kind of strength. It's not about immediate gratification or explosive retaliation. It's about patience. It's about turning your pain and anger into a relentless, methodical rise. They think they broke you, but in reality, they built the foundation of your comeback. Every whisper behind your back, every glance that tried to cut you down, every doubt cast upon your potential, it all becomes fuel for the empire you're building in silence. There's an unmatched power in being invisible to your enemies. When they think you're defeated, that's when you strike hardest. Not with noise or fury, but with results. While they celebrate your fall, you're quietly sharpening your mind, mastering your craft, and plotting your return. The silence becomes your weapon. It masks your growth and conceals the storm gathering inside. This power of the unseen is not just revenge, it's mastery. This kind of revenge is cold and precise. It doesn't seek chaos, it embodies control. You don't need to scream to prove you're alive. Your actions, your success, your very existence will speak louder than any words ever could. You become the shadow in their peripheral vision, the glitch in their perfect system that they can't fix or ignore. Every step you take forward is a blow they never saw coming. But silent revenge demands more than patience. It requires faith. Faith in yourself when nobody else believes. Faith in the process when the world seems to be moving on without you. It's waking up every day knowing that the climb is lonely. The nights are cold and the doubts still creep in, yet choosing to move forward anyway. You hold your silence like a shield, protecting your vision from the noise and distractions designed to derail you. This revenge is not just about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's the internal war where you reclaim your power one quiet victory at a time. Every day you show up, every task you complete, every moment you resist the urge to lash out, you reinforce the fortress of your resolve. The world may never hear your battle cry, but it will feel the impact of your rise. Silent revenge also means embracing the shadows within you. Those parts of yourself that were broken, ignored, or rejected become your allies. You learn to navigate the darkness not with fear but with strength. You become comfortable in the uncomfortable, finding power in what others avoid. It's in this darkness that your true self emerges. Resilient, fearless, and unpredictable. The greatest victories are often invisible. They happen in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you choose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, and strength over surrender. Silent revenge is the art of winning without making a scene, of conquering without surrendering your soul to anger or hate. It's the ultimate control, the kind that turns pain into power without losing yourself. And when the time comes for the world to finally notice, it won't be because you demanded their attention. It will be because your presence is undeniable. The power of the unseen will have done its work. You will stand taller, sharper, and stronger than ever before. Not as a victim or a victimizer, but as a master of your own fate. So remember this: revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet force that no one saw coming. The shadow that lingers long after the noise has faded. It's the silent promise that every pain you endured was not wasted. That you are rising not to destroy, but to transcend. That you are becoming unstoppable. And if this quiet storm within you stirs your soul, please like, comment, and subscribe to Twist. Because the greatest power is often the one no one sees coming. The world thrives on order. It craves predictability, stability, the comfort of knowing exactly what to expect. But you are a storm, a force that refuses to be tamed or categorized. The unpredictable mind is a weapon, sharper and deadlier than any sword. It's the wild card that shatters expectations, the glitch in their system that nobody saw coming. When you embrace chaos, you don't just survive, you conquer. This kind of mind isn't born from calm sea. It's forged in the eye of the storm, molded by every moment life threw you off balance. You learned early that the rules could be bent, broken, or completely rewritten. Predictability was never your path because you understood something they didn't. Chaos is power. It's freedom from the cages they built. It's the spark that ignites revolutions within yourself and the world around you. To wield chaos as a weapon means to move beyond the chains of routine and expectation. It's the refusal to be boxed in by society's narrow definitions of success and failure. You become unpredictable, not for the sake of rebellion alone, but because you recognize that surprise and uncertainty are your greatest allies. When others calculate and plan with rigid certainty, you adapt, evolve, and strike where least expected. Your mind dances between shadows and light, order and madness, creating a rhythm no one can follow. This unpredictability makes you dangerous because you are impossible to read. You confuse their strategies, break their patterns, and leave them scrambling to catch up. They want to control the narrative, but you rewrite the script in real time. You become the chaos they fear because chaos does not conform. It cannot be predicted, controlled, or contained. It is raw, primal, and fiercely alive. But chaos is not just random destruction. It is the art of controlled madness. It is knowing when to strike, when to retreat, and when to let the world think they have won, only to prove them wrong when they least expect it. This mind moves in shadows and flashes, blending patience with sudden bursts of unstoppable energy. It is silent but deadly, a predator in a world of prey. Harnessing this power requires courage. You must let go of the fear of judgment, of failure, and of the unknown. You must trust your instincts even when logic screams to the contrary. You learn to thrive in uncertainty, because it is there that your true strength reveals itself. Your mind becomes a labyrinth of possibilities, a maze with no clear path but endless exits. Chaos as a weapon also means embracing your darkest fears and using them to fuel your transformation. You stop running from the parts of yourself you were taught to hide, anger, pain, madness, and instead channel them into your strategy for survival and success. The unpredictability of your mind becomes a reflection of your willingness to face everything head-on, to dance on the edge of sanity without falling. This power reshapes how you see the world and how the world sees you. No longer a victim of circumstances or rules, you become an architect of chaos, building new realities from the ruins of the old. You disrupt systems, shatter illusions, and create opportunities where none existed before. Your mind becomes the storm that no one can forecast, the force that rewrites the game entirely. In this chaos, you find freedom. Freedom from the expectations that once caged you. Freedom to express your true self without apology or restraint. Freedom to rise from the ashes with a smile that hides 1,000 secrets. The unpredictable mind is a masterpiece of survival and rebellion, a testament to the power of those who refuse to be tamed. So wear your chaos like a crown. Let your unpredictability be the sword that cuts through the silence and the walls built to keep you small. Remember, the world can't control what it can't predict. And once you unleash your true mind, you become unstoppable. If this raw fire inside you burns bright, please like, comment, and subscribe to Twist Mind, because true power lives in chaos, and chaos lives in you.